All right, so let's look at a few things about this. And when I talk about weight, okay, I'm just going to make sure it's all locked in. This is how, right here, Chris, if you can get up here, this is how you lock the slide. Okay, I'm going to lock the slide. Okay, this is how I'm going to push the head down. I'll bring it over here, Chris, so you can see it. This is how you release the head. It's a green tab right here. Right, it's pretty easy. I'll go over that a little bit later. But what I want to do is I want to bring it into transportation mode, because you're going to notice I'm not going to grab it by this handle. Look, it has a built-in handle. And the nice thing, and somebody mentioned this to me 2 weeks ago, it's easier to carry because you can carry it close to the body with this handle. It's really nice. I can't believe how light it is. Hey, does anybody in this room know how much the Kapex weighs? Say it, Minnie. You said 40 and you said 47 pounds. On the cat or the stand, the UG stand, it's 69 pounds. So it's still very light in weight. I want to turn it up like this so you can see this. You see these pods right here, 1, 2, 3, and 4? Those, of course, are 20 millimeters, and those fit in here. So one of the things I always like to listen to what people ask questions about this saw. And I'm going to do a few things this morning or this afternoon that maybe you might get confused when you get this saw. So bear with me. Okay. So these are the pods. I could take it just like this, set it right in, and it drops in those holes. Let me get it in there, see? And it just dropped in the holes, right? You have these little tables that come out to give you more support. Oh, on the MW1000, I threw the extension table. One comes with it, but I threw another one on there. I got a nice saw station right there. Or you could build it out, and I'll go over the saw station. The UG stand, it has a special bracket or adapter plate and different extensions than the ones on the KS120. Over here, I have another one of these. But I see this all the time online, whether it's social media, YouTube, wherever, that, oh, the height of the Kapex is the same height as a Systainer 1. Okay, well, it changed. The Systainer 1, or the new generation M1112, is the same as the Systainer, whether Classic or T-Lock. They're all the same height. That's the only ones that are the same, but it's not the same height. Okay, aha, but check this out, and I'm going to take my time setting this up because I want to show you how easy it is. I'm going to make sure I show you how easy it is, but I'm going to turn it up, and what the saw comes with are, oh, you know what? I just thought of something. It's a system. I'm going to try something. Hang on. I'm going to take this, bring it back down here like this, and while it's in there, right, yes, you have this little piece here. Okay, see how it screws up and down? So when you have it, I'm going to release it right here. This is how I release and it actually will balance. So if I have it on a different surface other than that, that's a little balancer. It's really nice. And if I have it out wider, it'll balance so it doesn't tip forward. But I want you to see that hole in the alignment on this. So I'm going to take a traditional clamp like this. I'm going to spin it. Oh, look at that. Look how that locks the Kapex right down to the table while it's in the pods. And let me check this out. Oh, look, I still have movement. I can actually put another one here and lock it in, and I don't lose any stops on my miter. And speaking of the miter, it goes 60 to the left and 60 to the right. A lot of people are impressed with that, and that's on the miter. Also, this is how you lock the miter down right here. But also check this out, Chris. Make sure you get this icon. See this? I will be using this feature in a few minutes, but if I take it and move it, see how I have positive stops at all your top settings or major settings? If I take this, move it up, and move it over, I lose all my stops. And that's really important when you're using the angle transfer device, okay, and line up. So while we were down here, I thought I'd cover it. Now back to where I was, I'm going to release this, get this clamp out of the way. Whoopsie, I always forget which way to turn these puppies. Get it out of there. Bring it over. Bam, get it out of there. Come on, there you go. So there's the clamp. Now, let's get back to where I started. I'm gonna take it like this, and I'm gonna pick it up so you can see the bottom. just like this. And I'm gonna reach in here and I'm gonna grab 5 pieces. These little pods right here, okay? Bam. What these do is they elevate the KSC60 so it does line up if I'm working on the floor or on another work table, that I can use a Systainer 1 or an M1112 to line up. So I'm just gonna take these. Chris, I'm just gonna walk in front of you to get my, because I'm lazy today, I'm gonna grab my CXS. See the little point right there? It goes right in here like this. And you take the screws. These are supplied with it. Okay, so I'm just gonna get them set up like this. And I'm just gonna get it like that. Now, I always set the clutch on this because I don't want to strip out the heads. So I usually set the clutch at about 6. And you'll hear it. Perfect. It's about right where I want it. Bam. Let's go over here. Ooh, I'm going to use this left-handed. There we go, and here we go. Okay, so this is a question I don't think is as obvious. I mentioned it already, but I don't think it's as obvious. So you'll notice, I'm going to tilt it back, that those pods line up with the pods. And yes, they go in if you're using an MFT table. But it won't be the same height as a Systainer 1. So what I'll do is I'll set it on the table itself, and you'll see now that it's the height of the Systainer 1. I'm going to unlock it here again, and I'm going to bring it across. And you'll see, perfect, Systainer 1. It's not in the holes, and it lines up. So there you go. That's what those pods are for. There's one more thing that this is what the person was asking. Why do I have this long one? And you'll see that this doesn't reach down. So what I'll do is I'll just take that and I'll tilt it back up like this. And I'll just remove this right here. So just take your time in doing this. When you're lining this up, I get as far as I can, and then when I set it up, I go like this. Woohoo! I had this set up on a traditional MFT the other day, and I'll just take it, oh look, I had it pretty good, and I'll just align it with that surface right there. So there you go. And then you can take another Systainer and put it here, and you got plenty of work surface, and you don't have to go and get the extensions. But for me, I think one of the biggest things with my KS120 is the extensions and the portability of the stand as well. So we have done that with the KSC60. All right, whew. Next, I got so much prepared, it's ridiculous. So let's make a couple of cuts, and I'll talk about the stand afterwards. Let's do this. Let's get a small piece of wood here. Hey, Mo! Traditionally, with the Kapex, we had the tall fences. These are not needed on here. They're really easy to come off. They just come off real easy. All right, and that's important when I'm beveling the saw. So one of the things that I saw on the Kapex, the KS120, was this latch up top here. Okay, ease of use. So when I first saw the new bevel angles, I was like, oh, we went to a hand crank or a star crank and back. And the more I use this, I go, this is like the easiest one on any slag compound I've ever used. So I'm gonna loosen it here, and I can talk about this. There's a button here, so you have a positive stop at 0. All right, if I wanna go to what? The right. Okay, I push it in. And Chris, can you come over here? To the right, okay, I hit 45, but if I press it again, I'm gonna get out of here, Chris, and you'll see it goes to 46. When I bring it back, you'll hear it pop. There's the 0, it's back in, and then when I go and hit it here, to the left, it goes to 47. So it's 46 to the right, 47 to the left. I always gotta remember that. All those specs are in there, okay? And I always gotta make sure that I don't have batteries on when I'm doing this, okay? Because that's really important. Now I'm gonna put it back up, and really nice is that crank in the back. It's really smooth. It's quick. I don't have to reach all the way back. It's right in close proximity. It has the crosscut capacity, okay, is 305, so that translates to 20 1/4. Okay, crosscut capacity when I'm at 0 and 0, right? If I take this and go to 45, my crosscut capacity is 8 1/2. Hang on a second, let me check.
I think you had 12 1/4, 8 1/2.
Yeah, 12 1/4, 8 1/2. Thank you. No, not 12 1/4, 12 1/64, which is 305. I just tell everybody it's 12-inch crosscut capacity. Okay, and it's 8 1/2 at 45. So there you go. I can't remember everything. Sorry. All right. When I bring it back, oh, I already have my detents. I want to get the detent at 0. It's pretty simple. I just like it as a small compact form. All right. So remember, that's how you release the head. Okay. And that's how you lock it in. Okay. And there. Okay. I'm ready to cut now. I'm going to put these on because I'm going to cut this walnut. And I want to show you that when I first saw this, I was like, and the more I use it, the more I like it. Okay. With the Kapex, the KS120, we've had it over in the States now for quite a few years. We have a laser on there, and it's a dual laser. It's adjustable. But this is a shadow line, and I'm going to point this out. Let me just grab this next. Oh, here you go. Hey, Mo. It comes with a screw clamp. As scope of delivery of the KSC60, and everybody's going, why a screw clamp? Well, if you notice this notch here, okay, and I can lock boards down here, okay, but there's a notch back here. Chris, I don't know if you can get this, but there's one that slides in the back. So whenever I cross-cut, I always use a hold down. So I'm going to put it in here from the back, and you're going to see that's my hold down. What you're going to ask, okay, and I did right away, can you use the ratcheting clamp? Absolutely. It goes in here from the back. It works great. But there's a little bit of a situation with the ratcheting clamp. That's why we include the screw clamp. Let me show you that. Okay, is when I'm like working with like 3/4, okay, which I'll be doing in a few minutes. When I put the ratcheting in, see how it doesn't go all the way down? So what I do is I have a series of little boards here if I want to use the ratcheting clamp, and I just do a quick build up like this, and I can use that, and it's nice and steady. All right, so whether I clamp it from the front or the back, but you have that ability to do so. I just wanted to point that out to you because I like the ratcheting clamps. Let's get to what I was mentioning. Let's go to this button over here. Remember, everything's green. And you know what I need now? Whoop. Power. Okay, how am I going to show this? Chris, can you walk over here? It can work with 2 batteries or 1 battery.
Looks really good.
Okay, it does look good? Okay. Now, that battery has to be, when I look at this, the battery has to be on the bottom, not the top to work. That's what that icon shows. So let's step back over here, and I'll put both batteries on, and I can explain the RPM, and you can hear it. Okay? When I have it, let me get my clamp. When I have it like that, it is, I always got to check. I'm not going to look at there. When I have 2 batteries, that's 36 volt. It will be, you'll have a variable speed of 1,300 to 3,500 RPM. But when you have just 1 battery, which has to be on the bottom, you will have a variable speed range of 1,300 to 1,800 RPM. I would equate that to just about half. Okay, so let's put this on so I could show you this feature right here. Chris, come on in here. You have this. You hit the button, there's a light. Okay, now that is not a laser line, but it is wicked cool, what we call a shadow line. So I'll bring it down so you can see it. See the shadow line? Okay, that is the kerf of the blade. What's nice about it is if you get pitch on there, right, guess what happens? It shines on the blade, so it's still gonna remain that kerf on there. All the kerfs of the blade are 2.3 millimeter. So that's not the variable, but what if you get pitch on there? It's gonna be off a little. Hopefully you follow me on that. All right, now, when I do this, I'm just gonna slide this over so you can see it. I know I'm jumping around a lot, but I'll go over the handle in a minute, but you'll see that just like that, and you'll see the curve. So I'm just gonna go like this. Now, Chris, come over here just for a second, because this is something that I saw a concern of, and it really isn't. It's like, when we first got the Kapex, well, my first Kapex was in 2006. That's when I was using it. No, my Kapex is in 2006. I was using it in 2007. It was manufactured in 2006. I had to get used to the handle because the handle was different from me then. Now this has something different. Now, if I need to lower the blade, okay, I press this part right here. This, okay, is a lockout switch. So to power, see how I have it down? To power it, I hit this button and then I can pull this up. Follow? Now, if I'm a lefty, which I still like the handle in this orientation, not like this, because I'm too far away, I just have to remember to take that index finger, push it in like this. And you know what? It still works great. It's just, how do you say? It's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. Well, it's the same thing when you get something new and you have a different style handle. Just take your time with it. It'll work in, I promise. Let's go over here. I set this out because this is one of those tools we have that's really misunderstood. And when I say this is our inspection light. I'm going to set it here, okay? Because I want to go hands-free. I use this quite often when like I'm inspecting this slab like this, okay? For what? Swirl marks and imperfections, okay? But I'm going to leave it there for a minute. What's lost in the catalog is going hands-free with this. So we have this, and this is what we call our inspection light bracket. It goes on the Systainer Duo tripod. You'll see it in the catalog or on the website. We'll put together packages with the inspection light, the bracket, and the tripod. They're both heavy duty, but this bracket's quite unique because we have this area where it's cam locked, and that's how you put it on this rib right here. Chris, get that right there on the inspection light. But what people don't know, it's also tension adjustable right here. You have 2 points of swivel here and here, so you can get this, and this is important, at any angle you want to rake the light. And I'll show you what a great application this is. I have one in my shop at home. You have 2 mounting points. You can mount it vertical here. There's this little piton right here that you go like this, and it snaps in, so if you want it up high like this and vertical, the tripod's adjustable. But where I use it quite often, and I want to make sure I get this right, is right here. Whoopsie. I had this right. I should have marked it a little bit better. Okay, just like this. I had it. Oh my goodness, I'm so mixed up right now. I feel like I'm hanging crown molding. So I'm going to put it on here and I'll adjust it just like this. So I'll take it like this and I'll get it right in that little piton just like this. Okay, there we go. There we go. I had it set up. So I adjusted this yesterday because I want you to open your brain with this. If you spray or you lay down finish, say I'm laying down finish on this slab, this walnut slab, I've always in my shops had a light right here aiming at the slab. And the reason I have it, I don't want to spray in here today because I am in a corporate office. I want to make sure, see how I lock it right in like this? And I can adjust this. So the important thing is when I'm spraying, I'll get this out of here, is I want perfect overlaps. I don't want to, leave lines in there. So this raking light lets me finish better. And that inspection light is at 5,000 Kelvin, and it's absolutely one of the best lights you can get for a shop or on a job site to inspect walls. And that's what it was designed for, inspecting walls. So you make sure, but the thing is we've learned at Festool a lot about light because the Planex 2.0 has one of the best lights ever for when you're sanding. You don't have to go back and follow it up with this. So hopefully you understand exactly what I was saying on this, because this actually allows you to lay that at the right angle when you're spraying or even sanding. Okay, enough about a bracket. Oh my goodness, look at all the people that are already online. All right, you know what, Chris, I think I'm gonna go over here because this is where I'll probably mess up the most. All right, so you guys have always seen, I always talk about these drawers. These are the SysAZ trays or drawers. All right, and everybody says, what the heck is this little symbol here? Lock and unlock. Well, it's for this. And this gets lost in the catalog because no one knows what the heck this is. And look, if I look at this, I go SysAZ, and it's got some keys and a nut and a little tumbler there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make one for you today. All right, so, and I also wanna explain it too. So I'm gonna take out my cutting package here, and I'm gonna release the drawer. Okay, the SysAZ drawer. Chris, come in here so everybody can see this. When you mount this, this is this little black piece, all right, has this little notch in here. Now, when I put this in, okay, it actually locks right here. See that? So it actually holds it in. I can't pull it out until I lift this. All right, it kind of holds it in there. Now, at home, I don't have all those black mounts because I'm not portable. It's in a wall at home. But what happens is if I'm in a truck, all right, and what happens when you're on the job site, people, you know, look inside your truck or everything. This here keeps it from unlatching, should I say. So that little tab, I want to prevent that tab from moving. So let's look at this hole. Now, there are pretty good instructions with this. I'm going to see if I can get it set up right. What you need to do, the first thing you do, this is a little shallow right here. You need to punch that out. Now, there's a couple ways of doing it. Yesterday, I was using one of these, a dead blow hammer, and I'm going to punch this out. Let's see if I can get it today. Now, I'll just turn it around, see if it knocks out even easier this way. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use a 4mm domino, and let's see if I can punch it out. There we go. No problem. And just remove that plastic. It breaks away pretty good. What I like to do, and I've put a few of these at home, is I've actually used a little razor knife to make sure that all gets broken away just like that. See that? Okay, so now we have a hole in there. So this is where I'm glad I'm able, see this? This will spin around in the hole. So what I want you to see is this, okay? I hold it here and go like this because you're going to see me put this in. You want to start with this down. So what I want to do as I do this, Chris, get right in here. And sometimes you have to be fairly patient with this because I'm going to take this nut and slide it in there. It's a really tight fit. Right, see how I get it up around there now? And now I'm going to slide that in. And boy, there's a lot of times I do fumble with this. Oopsie, see? It's already fallen out. Let me see if I can get her in there. Garrett, you laughing at this? Because you've probably done this a bunch of times, brother. I know you have a bunch of these at home. Okay, so the nut's on there. And now you got to start spinning the nut on there. Let's see if I get it started. Oh my God, I think I got it started already. Let's see. Boy, yesterday, that thing was getting cocked in there and I couldn't spin it. So what I did is I reached for this. You have to use a Festool. So how was Festool Live? We spent about 4 hours putting on that nut, but it actually worked pretty good. So you just got to tighten it up and be patient doing that. It takes a couple of minutes, but once you get it in there, it's finally threading. Thank you. And what happens was it gets in there, you'll see. Now it's in a lock position. You'll see when it's in a vertical, it's in the unlock position. So let's get it on there. I don't want to cross thread it. Okay, so I'm going to leave that. I'll leave it up to you. But Chris, come on over here, and you'll see how I had this installed yesterday. See how it's vertical? It's unlocked, and there's lock now, and I can't take it out. So that is how you install the SysAZ drawer lock. And once again, it prevents that latch from coming out of there. And that's one of those little black things right there. The drawer slide, the bottom of the drawer slide goes in there. I'm going to tell you, I have, I think, 30 or 40 SysAZs at home. I love them. Okay, now, this is one where everybody thinks, oh, you got to buy the whole Systainer for it. No, if you have a Generation 3, M337 and M437, that's what this works with, okay? It's part number 204493. Boy, I got a good memory. No, I don't. I wrote it down right there. Okay, look at this. It's a piece of foam, but it's hard foam, and you get all these little openings here. But these are perfect for, Chris, look at here. This is the caulking insert. Okay, so if you're, you're portable, you're going out to the job site, and you know how these things roll around all over the place, and you have a spare Generation 3, 337 or 437, get one of these. Okay, it fits right in, and you can put your removable or reusable tips in the back, and it makes it really convenient, and it's a place for everything, and everything in its place. Lost in the catalog, baby. Okay, now, number 4 and lost in the catalog. This is something I have covered, I believe. But one of my buddies here said, when's the last time you covered the depth setting chucks? I think I covered them not in unison on one of the episodes. So if I seem repeated, I'm going to tell you, every time I show this, even at trade shows, people freak out because they don't know we have them. They think we're coming out with them. There's 2 depth setting chucks, fast fix chucks. There's this one, I always say this is the drywall chuck. This came out, I remember, this came out in 2006, 2007. And boy, did I answer a lot of questions on the phone with this one. Like, that's not working. Someone actually borrowed a C12 with this once and brought it back and says, oh, it's broken. And I went, I wonder what's he talking about? So I'm going to talk about this first. And then this is the other one that when we came out with the PDC / now TPC, is the one that I think is fantastic. And I'll show you this as well. We got all kinds of replacement parts for this, but it's kind of misunderstood. All right, so this is what we call our drywall chuck. The cone's removable. Okay, you can put in your tips. That's magnetic. You see this little icon right here? If I go this way, it means I can sink them deeper. Okay, if I can go this way, that means I can do a shallower seat. Okay, deeper this way, shallower this way. But this is a thing that's misunderstood. Hey, what is it all about, unit? Everything that's green means something, right? That's right. And nobody understands this. Okay, so let's put it on. This works with all our Central Tech hubs that have these little gray nibs right here. So I'm going to put it on, and I'm going to spin it. Okay, now there's another icon in here on the green. So we understand this, and you'll understand in a minute. See how it has an arrow going up? This is if I need to take out a screw. You'll understand in about 2 seconds. This is the funny thing. My drill chuck is not working. It's pressure actuated. Okay, it doesn't spin. This one spins all the time. Okay, so I'm going to do drywall, and I want to set it. Let's see if we can get this close. Okay, I'm going to set it here. You see how I'm pushing in? Okay, let's see if I get it set right. Okay, now, I didn't break the paper. I just put it in shallow. Okay, that is a perfect seat right there. Now, if I wanted it a little deeper, I would come back to my icon and go this way, okay? And each one of those is 1/10 of a millimeter. It is a very precise adjustment. Or if I wanted it not as deep, I would go that way. I'm only gonna go, I just clicked it back because I really like the seat of this. Now, here's the problem. What if I went too deep and I gotta back something out? Well, if I go like this, and I'm going to see if I can back this out. I can't, right? Because of the breakaway on it. I don't want to keep removing this, so I just take this, look, and I rotate it. Watch what happens. I'm going to pressure. Now, hopefully we can get in here. Watch. You can't see it. It pushed away, so now I can take it out. It pushes this a little further in so I can remove those on the go. It is such a, once you understand it, it makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Oh, you want to see it again? Oh, okay, watch. Hey, I'll even get a fresh screw. Hey. Okay, I'm going to take it like this. Okay, perfect set. But I got to remove it because I broke paper possibly. So see how I can't take it like this? See how I get it in reverse. It's not in further enough to do it. So I take this. I push it, and it's pushing that little piece a little bit further, so now I can back it out. That's how it works, okay? That's the depth setting chuck. That's the first one. Whew. All right. Now, here's the next one. And this works with everything. We have Phillips tips with it. We have, and if you're doing sheet metal and you want a breakaway chuck for that because you're in a hurry, we have that. Watch. See this right here? We have these for this. I call these zip screws, but for sheet metal. And that can be put right in here. We have these removable cones. Before I start using this, I want to go over this. Okay? That comes right off. Look at the size of that bearing. Okay? I could put different tips in there. Okay, I have a Phillips in there now. I could put one of these. We have different openings. We have two different cones. We have one that's a small opening. We have one larger. Sometimes some of these screws from metal or whatever have a washer head. So you can do those, and it's a quick way to use a drill. Okay, all the Festool drills, whether C, T, TPC, whatever. Now, what happens is this is a no-ma tip. No-ma Garcia para. Okay, only you guys in New England are gonna, or the Cubbies will get it. No-ma. Okay, that was for you, Jordan. Okay, so you see this right here? These are replaceable because this is a wear item. We peel those off, and we have the two different size openings for replacement. That comes right off like this. Okay, and it's replaceable. So it's a non-miring tip. Okay, or it's gentle on the material, I should say. So I'm going to put that on. I'll run a screw so you can see it. That comes on and off wicked quick. But also, let's get that icon in here. We can adjust the depth, okay, for breakaway. Whether it's this way, I believe, for deeper, and this way for shallower. Okay, I always put it in drill mode. I don't want to use my clutch because it's a full breakaway. And let's just get a screw for this one right here. And I'll just show you how that works. And you can precisely set the depth on that. See that? And that's perfectly where I want it, nice and flush. Okay, combine that with a self-tapping screw and you don't have any mush, or screw with nibs, you don't have any mushrooming. Yes, have I used this for cabinetry? Absolutely. It's a wonderful, when I'm assembling cabinets, I don't have my impact with me. I'm using a regular drill. This is a winner. Chicken dinner. Okay, so I think I've covered everything.